Hey guys, thanks for participating in my PD for my technology class. This is actually going to be a two-part video. The first one we'll look at the website edmodo.com, and the second one we're going to be looking at Google Docs and how to incorporate that into your classroom. All right. So first and foremost, what we're going to need you to do is go ahead and go to the website www.edmodo.com. Like you can see up here. Okay. And once you get to this website, this is a free website, as you can see by the sign up for free button. But the whole goal of this is a learning platform that will allow you to connect with your students digitally. Obviously, one of the things that our district is attempting to perfect and get better at is, one, student attendance. Obviously, we all have kids that miss multiple days, things like that, but also snow learning, as introduced by KDE this year, is a technology gap that we're trying to close so that we're able to get the days that we sign up for. And so this could possibly be one of those models that we use in order to not only provide student assignments, but allow an easy avenue for them to post feedback and complete assignments as well. So first thing first, I'm going to show you how to sign up. Obviously, you would come here and you would click the teachers, their students and parents. So not only is it a good way to get assignments to your kids, but it's also a great way to interact with parents to make sure that they are up to date with what's going on inside of your classroom. Students, obviously, to get late work, to get snow learning. You could also do lessons online here as well. Talking about flipped classrooms, assigning homework, quizzes, things like that you don't necessarily want to do in class, and kind of gearing them up for college as far as that goes, because you're beginning to see more colleges obviously use Blackboard, moving on to Moodle, webinars, like GoToMeeting, things like that, flipped classroom initiatives. I don't know if I just said that. But anyways, moving on, obviously you would sign up as a teacher. Okay, here you would enter your email address, and click create new password, and obviously the sign up for free button. Once you've clicked both of those and filled both of those in, you would be able to then sign up for free. However, I'm going to go up here because I already have an account with a password, obviously, and then go ahead and log in. And once you log in, for those of you that use Facebook, there's a lot of things in common, obviously, with the interface. You see over here to the left hand side, there's my name. Hi, Mr. Fangman. You could have a different picture if you so choose. I chose the American flag with the bald eagle because I'm not one to take selfies, but also I'm a U.S. history teacher. So if you guys get on here and you want to change what you have on there, feel free to. But moving on from that, as you can see down here, I have different groups that I belong to. I'll go ahead and click there where it says show all, actually, but these are just the different groups like you would on a Facebook page, joining groups and things that you like. On Edmodo, obviously you can see here the groups that I belong to. Grant County Teacher PD 2015, which is what we'll get into in a minute, but I have one for my classes, Grant County U.S. History 2014-2015. These are previous classes that I had taught and also been a part of. The groups that I still pull information from. And so these pages never expire unless the administrator of that page deactivates the account and deletes it. But I just wanted to go ahead and show you that. As far as our interaction, things like that, what I'm going to do is show you how to join a group, and then we'll eventually show you how to create a group. But what you're going to want to do is we'll go back after I show you that. But what you would do is you would go to your groups over here on the tabs. Obviously, you would be starting fresh. You wouldn't have many of the posts and things like that I do. But you would click on the groups button here, and you would hit the join button. Okay? And so when you go to this join group, you would type in the code D lowercase 7A7V4. All right? And you would hit join. Obviously, I'm already a part of that group, so I'm not going to hit that. But you would hit join, and it would open you up to the Grant County Teacher PD 2015. All right, and like you see here, this is the group that hopefully we'll be able to continue and give feedback and things like that, and how everybody has been able to use Edmodo in their classroom. But I just kind of want to introduce you into some of the ways that you're able to use this website. I'll show you some of the things that I am able to do, and then hopefully you'll feel free to experiment and kind of join in and share some of your experiences as far as that goes. Over on this side, like it says, it has the title of the group. It also has the group code, things like that. With this, what you can do is you can, after a period of time, these groups lock, and so it keeps people from the outside from getting in, much like if you set up the privacy settings on your Facebook account to high, medium, and low. You determine who is able to view your page and who is not able to view your page, and so you would go on from there. This group code, but if you want students later on to be able to join your group, you would be able to hit reset and move on from there. But like I said, if you obviously were in this group, we're able to post. If you had a note or things like that that you wanted to put on here, you would be able to type. So for example, I would put, we'll just say, welcome to the Grant County Technology PD for the 2015 school year. Would, if everyone would take the time to introduce themselves and make sure that everyone is accounted for here. And so I would go down to here, obviously, and choose the Grant County Teacher PD. If there were further instructions, things like that I wanted to attach, obviously you could attach a file, a link from the internet, something from your library, which we'll look at in a minute as well. And then I could also schedule the message. But here I'm not going to do any of that, and I would just click send. And like I said, just like a Facebook post, it shows up down here in this area, as you can see from that. And people are allowed to give reactions, reply, share. You can also filter posts. So if you were to go back to your home page, this is your home page, and I would be able to see posts not just from one group, but from multiple. Okay, and so it kind of works like a Twitter feed does, where you follow certain people and you're able to see different posts, things like that, and you're able to filter these posts either by you, okay, only posts that you want to see by you, posts from your students, things that students have put on here, asking questions. If you wanted to have a forum post, you would type a question that students could see. We'll go back to by me. If you wanted to have a forum where your students replied to a question online or use as an exit slip, things like that, you could do that as well and post that in your notes. But that's just something that I'll let you play around with, things that you can get to eventually. Up here, let me click on this group right here. This will let me go back in. Up here you see different tabs. Okay, obviously the first one is a note, which is what I posted here so that the entire group could see. The next one is an alert. This is kind of acts as a warning system or alert system if you have an upcoming assignment or if students need to get something turned in or take a quiz, things like that. This alert can be sent at a scheduled time, such as right here. You could choose the day and then be able to choose the time that it is sent out to your group. The neat thing about that is that when you do things like that with your alert, let's see here, you can choose as far as your settings go. If we go up in here, so if I was to send an alert, I could go into my settings button and I could choose to receive email and text updates. Obviously that's my email there, but I could choose text, and then you could put your number in there as far as what you wanted to receive and when you wanted to receive it and click save updates. I don't want to receive text messages, so I'm not going to go that far, but let's go ahead and go back to the Grant County Teacher PD page. So we looked at our alerts, assignments. Okay, you can also create assignments on here. If you wanted to give the assignment a title, I'm just going to use this as an example for what I do. Actually, let's change that from U.S. History, and let's do a Teacher PD. We could make it for, let's say, April 3rd, 2015. Sorry about that. Teacher feedback based on Edmodo PD. You could choose to lock this assignment after its due date. which I'll go ahead and do that. But what you can do is you can go ahead and attach a file if there's an assignment that you want to do or give to your students. You can attach a link if there's a web quest or things like that. You could also go into your library and attach things from there if you have apps or if you have different folders and assignments that you want to take out of that. Obviously, this connects to Google Drive as well, which we're going to get into in the next video. And so basically just walking through this and understanding what you can and can't do. Assignments is a pretty good tool to be able to use. As far as quizzes, I use this function in my class in U.S. history to give vocabulary quizzes because it allows you to add multiple choice questions. Obviously here you could add true, false, short answer questions, fill in the blank, matching, however you would choose to do that. You could give the quiz a title, so Unit 3 vocabulary, vocabulary quiz. You could assign a time limit, obviously, that they would have to take that. I usually only do 15 minutes because the goal isn't that they're able to have an unlimited amount of time and look notes up and things like that. It's that did you study this and get through it. Or if you're a person that doesn't want them to have a time limit, you could also hit, I think 60 is the max that you're able to go up to. Okay, and so what you would do is you just click add first question. Obviously multiple choice here, but what you could type in whatever you wanted to put here. So what role did Paul Revere play in the American Revolution? And you could just offer different answers, A, B. If you need more than that, you could do C, D, however you needed to do that. All right. You are actually able to add questions as you go as well. So if you were to come over here and find this button, this cross-looking button or the addition button, you were able to add those as you go on. If you wanted to create it in Edmodo, you are also able to click this button, which will allow you to load a previously created question. You could search in your bank, things like that. Obviously, the question that I've already created is there. I could click load question. And so what it allows you to do is store a bank of questions and then be able to refilter them based on how students did and things like that. You could also preview the quiz to see what it looks like. Obviously, I haven't put the answers and things like that in there that needed to be worn. We could see what this looks like. And just for argument's sake, we could okay, and so we could go ahead and preview that and see what that looks like. I don't know why it says fix the following errors. I don't know. Oh, it's because I could go ahead and delete those, but I could just remove that question right there and see what. Obviously, you would have start quiz. You would click that, and then you would have that time limit obviously up there, Unit 3 vocabulary quiz, and then the ability to read the question, answer correctly. And so we would say, warn that the British were coming, and then you could hit submit quiz. Obviously, if there were more questions, these arrow buttons would allow you to go back and forth between them, but then you could click that and then submit the quiz. I'm going to go up here and end the preview. If I had got to the point where I was wanting to print this quiz out and not do it online, you could always do print quiz, and then it allows you to do that from there. Just something that I think is relatively useful, especially if you're crunched on time. If we've had too many snow days, or you want to assign a quiz over a Christmas break or spring break or days off that we have during the winter time, this is a great way to assess where your student's at and whether or not they're actually doing their work. So that's just, again, something else that I found very useful. Let's go ahead and head back, looking at quizzes. Okay, polls also, if you wanted to ask a poll question for your students, a lot of times what I do is I will take a poll on projects or lessons or things that students feel that they have learning options. They're more likely to be engaged in the material. And so what I do is I allow them to ask a question, or not, I'm sorry, answer a question based on what they would rather learn or how they would rather learn. Would you rather do a PowerPoint presentation, write a paper, create a skit, things like that they would be able to present in class? I apologize for that interruption. And then moving on, obviously you have a snapshot here that allows you to choose from standards like math, ELA standards, and create an assignment based off of that Edmodo would create. Okay, and so moving on from there, Edmodo also allows you to create folders where you're able to create. Obviously you would go over to, I went pretty fast, so you would go over to the folders tab, click the add folder button. You could click new folder and name it whatever you would want to, or instead of U.S. history, you could hit teacher PD and create, and you'd be able to put different files in there that people would be able to access as well. Obviously students, things of that nature. One of the things that I really like about Edmodo and what it is able to facilitate is project-based learning, and a lot of times we run into issues with that as far as how are we going to get students to collaborate and face-to-face, things like that. But what I have found really useful is this tab right here, is the creating small groups button. And what this allows you to do is to create small groups within your classes, and you're allowed to assign students. So if I wanted to do U.S. history group 1, I would be able to create that small group and then be able to click on that, and I would be able to assign group members. Obviously I would be able to go in here, add members. I would be and click on add members to small group. I could choose from a list of students, and that would allow me to add that to that small group. And what I'm able to do is I'm able to be a part of all those groups that I've created, and be able to not only monitor but also facilitate further learning if those students are collaborating on trying to answer a problem-based learning question, and how they would be able to do that. It's also a great way for them to be able to ask questions and things like that. And so I find that very useful when we're trying to facilitate student engagement and things like that nature. As far as posting assignments, things like that, I have also found that useful when you write a note. What I tend to do, especially for my U.S. history classes, is I go ahead and post each day what we do. And so obviously you can see here, let me get you to the beginning of a unit. Here, for example, our African American unit, I would put it starts today. Here are the materials for day 1, and I can attach PowerPoints, articles that I want them to read, any videos or things like that, links from the internet that I may want them to get a heads up on, vocabulary, study guides that I'm able to post here. And as we go through, we're able to basically put things on here that students need to do. And so when a student comes to me and says, Mr. Fangman, what did I miss yesterday? I'm able to point them in this direction, say go to my Edmodo website, make sure that you get the required information off of that website, and then we're able to move forward. And so it's just something that I think is very interesting, something that I think is very applicable to some of the struggles that we have as a faculty, because 1, it's free. Obviously that's a fantastic thing. We don't have to pay for a subscription. 2, it's very easy to use. It's set up just like Facebook is. And 3, it allows for students to make up for any missed work that they may have had. And so with these group posts, I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys a little bit of a quiz. And I'm going to go ahead and create that quiz. I'm going to make it open response, or short answer, I'm sorry. And so I'll name it PD. And I guess I'll give you 60 minutes, whatever you want to put there. But like I said, we'll walk back through, obviously adding the questions, choosing the style of question that I wanted with short answer. I only need 1 question, okay? But what I want you guys to do is I'm going to ask you the question, how would I implement Edmodo in my classroom? And what do I find most useful for student engagement. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and assign that quiz to our particular group. Okay, it's obviously going to show results. Let's see, I'm going to click the due date, and I'll make it for April 3rd. And so if everybody could get on here and take this quiz and give a little bit of feedback as to how they would use and implement Edmodo in their classroom, and what they found useful and what we can do. Oh, I apologize. I forgot to type in the group code. Grand County Teachers PD. I'm going to go ahead and send that. And the goal of this is that, one, obviously you reply and you're able to explore Edmodo and see what different apps work for you, what is most beneficial for you, but also that it can begin a conversation. You know, if different people post responses and things like that to a wall, and kind of get the idea flowing of what I could use in my classroom and what Mr. Jones could use in his, as far as that's concerned, what we think would be useful and how we could use it moving forward, and kind of continuing the conversation as to how Edmodo would impact student learning as well. I appreciate you guys watching this video. In the next video that we're going to look at Google Docs and how that can be implemented in the classroom. But I appreciate that. I look forward to reading some of your posts and your replies to this PD video, some of your replies, and I'm glad that you guys took the time to sit down and look at this PD video. I hope you found the information provided very useful, and I hope, like I said, it can continue a conversation as to how to improve instruction for students.